I am Carlos Durigan, and I am Brazilian and Italian, but I am doing my PhD in Brazil and also at the University of Zurich in the Blockchain Center. In my PhD thesis, I focused on CBDC governance interoperability, how to manage in the managerial side the governance over interoperability and over the communication between or among DLT protocols. So the short agenda that we have for this presentation today, I'm going to talk about the main brief definition of what is CBDCs. Then I'm going to recap some definitions of the features of XRPL, because although most of us know the definitions, it's important to see them again, to understand. Then I'm going to talk about a context and the approach and the opportunity that we have to use XRPL as a hub to promote CBDCs interoperability. Then I'm going to show to you some findings that I have in a project that I did last year, in the fall last year, with Ripple. I conducted a short case study and some interviews. And finally, I'm going to show you the considerations and next steps that we have in this context. So firstly, let's going to tell what is CBDCs? What is indeed Central Bank Digital Currency? CBDCs can be defined as new variants of central bank money, different from physical cash or central bank reserve settlements accounts. And if you look into the money flower definition from the Bank for International Settlements, we already see in the flower, in the graph, the gray area is the consideration of CBDCs. CBDCs is a tokenized form of fiat currency, and we see both wholesale CBDCs and retail CBDCs in the BIS money flower. The Bank of England also defines CBDCs as a new kind of category, or both wholesale and retail CBDCs, as I said, and it varies according to the used scenario. A retail CBDC is mainly used among individuals and businesses. Wholesale CBDC is a new infrastructure for interbank settlements. And wholesale CBDCs can also improve interbank payment and settlement, reduce risks, costs of cross-border payment transactions. And a CBDC has some finalities and objectives of usage. And so a CBDC should be able to offer both offline and instant payments, anonymity and privacy, security, resilience, and be compliant, also according to the many institutional environments that we have different compliance aspects. It should be available and also have a good scalability. So let's look into the context. What we have so far, many people are against CBDCs and many people wonder what they are for and how they will work in the future. It's something really unsure for everyone here, for institutions, for businesses, from our society as physical persons, and because we also are expected at least to have access to retail CBDCs in the future. But we have this context that the technology has taken advantage, the technology has increasing, and also central banks wants to play the game. So how can they join? We can see also in the short years many things have come into the reality, like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, the tokenized markets, and also many DeFi platforms. And so central banks have maybe asked themselves, we should enter this game and face the opportunities we have. According to Roland Berger, there is a forecast that by 2030, there will be it will be higher than $10,000 plus trillion market opportunity for all the tokenized markets combined together. And also we have the advent of Web3, the third generation of internet that allows users to have more, let's say, democracy, and also it's user-centered. And Web3 is also based on crypto economics networks. And so we have this opportunity, and on the other side, we also have the institutions, and we don't know what are the strategies of institution. Central bank, it's not only an institution that has to supervise and also to control the money, let's say, to the population, but also it has to offer some guidance and compliance for society, right? So I believe in this context of these opportunities, the tokenization market, the Web3, that central banks can enter into DeFi or DLT platforms by using a legalized, let's say, tokenized form of fiat currency. And I also believe that most part of the society will be willing to use a CBDC because they can trust, they can rely on an institution, if they have any problem, rather than using a non-compliance or a non-crypto in any other kinds of crypto platform. So let's recap some features of XRPL. Why should we consider it as a hub of promoting CBDCs interoperability? First, as we know, the consensus mechanism, XRPL uses the XRP Ledger Consensus Protocol, which relies on a group of validators who continuously agree on the state of the ledger. Second, XRP is the native asset, as we know, so it is used both as a mean of exchange and as bridge currency for cross-border transactions. It is fast and scalable, so as we know, for its speed and scalability, it can handle thousands of transactions per second, and thousands of transactions on XRPL are confirmed in seconds, making it suitable for real-time payments. Also about security and reliability, cryptographic algorithms and span measures, it's a good tool and approach. And decentralization, we can see it's a full decentralized like protocol and rely on a network of validators rather than a single central authority. The hooks is one of the special features of the XRP Ledger, and they work as smart contracts, but hooks allow developers to implement custom logic for transactions and scroll functions. Hooks can be written in C or any other language, and then compiled into WebAssembly. The use cases, we've seen many use cases, and XRPL is primarily used for cross-border payments and remittances by financial institutions and payment service providers, but we also have seen many usage of XRP Ledger in decentralized finance, in gaming, and also in asset tokenization. About wallets and exchanges, there are many wallets and exchanges to support XRP, allowing users to store, to trade, to manage their own XRP holdings. And the Interledger protocol, finally, I think is one of the most important features because XRPL supports the Interledger protocol, which allows us to connect and facilitate transactions between different ledgers and also many different payment networks. So especially about hooks, it's important to point out some features. How do hooks differ from an Ethereum virtual machine, EVM? XRPL, hooks, and the EVM, both of them allow developers to build and deploy custom logic and automation within their respective platforms. However, there are some differences. One of the main differences, I would say, between hooks and EVM is the platform they are designed to work with. Hooks are specifically designed to work within the XRP ledger, while EVM smart contracts only work with Ethereum-based blockchains. And talking about CBDCs, we have seen many solutions based on Ethereum, like in Brazil. The Drex is the Brazilian CBDC. It's based on Hyperledger Besu. Hooks are more efficient because they use WebAssembly, which, as we know, is faster and more efficient than the bytecode used by the Ethereum virtual machine. So let's recap the contest. As I told you, we have the institutions, the central banks wanting to join or to find like these crypto possibilities, this DLT, and we have like in the market many protocols, and then we have had at the same time the XRP Ledger, which is highly interoperable, and we are seeing that this contest, we have to consider that there are many central banks, and each central bank has its own CBDC, and also each CBDC has been built on at least in proof of concepts, but on its own DLT architecture or protocol. So they have to be able to transact among themselves and thus to interconnect protocols. This is the main issue we have in the context. And then XRPL protocol can be applied to serve as a hub to promote interoperability among these different CBDCs protocols. So first, what is necessary to do? We have to explore, to understand and detail the XRP Ledger architecture and protocol to think how it can be used as a hub to promote interoperability. And we have some actions for this. First, we have to identify opportunities that are applicable in the ledger and that can be used as a hub. And for this, we should also consider the governance aspects. Then last year, in the last fall of 2023, I did a short case study with Ripple, and I made some interviews. And just to time, I'm not going to show everything, but I'm going to point out like directly the main finds that we have when we look into the XRP Ledger protocol, considering to be used as a hub to promote interoperability. So finds, let's state first the factors that are already very good or positive, strongly positive, that we can say that they justify XRP Ledger to be used as a hub to promote CBDC interoperability. First, as we know, as I already told here, we have the Interledger protocol, which can connect multiple protocols, and this allows also interoperability. Second, the ledger has some level of modular architecture, which is very easy when we have to think about communication between or among protocols. And thirdly, the XRP ledger has a built-in DEX. Fourth, XRP Ledger is able to handle cross-border transactions. And finally, the ledger has low transaction costs when we think like and compare to other protocols. And XRPL itself does not rely on mining. However, there are some factors. We have to look both to the positive, or let's say negative is not the best word, but there are some other features that are willing or deserve some improvement or opportunity, let's say. First, hooks. They are really good. They work very well. However, they could be like, let's say, in a new version of the XRPL, they could have been customized like to work with other solutions in the market that are smart contract-based. And regarding the asset trading and hooks together, it could be created a new version of XRP, let's say in the future. And this new version could like be based on smart contracts, and it would enable XRP Ledger to trade more complex assets. It's important to say that it already trades very complex assets, but in the future, it could like trade even more complex assets and make integration with Ethereum protocol. When you think about the volumetry, there is a volumetry around 1,500 transactions per second. It's really good when you look and to compare with other ledgers. However, when you think into a CBDC and central bank demands and markets demands and infrastructure, central banks may expect to have a higher volume and transactions per second, right? So this also could be improved in the future. And to be fully used as a hub of CBDC's interoperability, XRP Ledger must develop and consider compliance and security approaches in protocols design. What I mean with this, it's important to point out and to say that I'm not saying that this point is a critic, it's a fault. XRPL has already been working and done much like related to compliance. But we have to think that compliance is something that applies to every kind of technology, every kind of business. And as time flies, as time changes, and also when you look into different countries, we have many different like institutional environment powers and regulations. So it's a constant point for improvement in every technological solution. So XRP must be able, what I mean with this, to look into the future and try to develop technology already compliant with many rules since the beginning. Let's talk again about hooks. Like they do not support oracles, like smart contracts, applications, and protocols do. So we could also try to improve hooks or also try to become with a new version of XRP, which is also able to transact more with other kinds of Ethereum solutions. And the XRP ledger provides transactional privacy to a certain extent, but does not offer the same level of anonymity as some privacy-focused coins. Compliance and security will depend on the additional layers and systems built around the XRP ledger to meet CBDC requirement. What I mean with this, if you look into the ecosystems of a CBDC as a whole, if you're talking about interoperability and about communication among protocols, we have to think that XRP Ledger is responsible by its ledger. But if you look on the other side of the ecosystem, there are other ledgers that also we have to name a responsible or some agent that are responsible to compliance aspects. So in this point, it's important to explore an end-to-end approach. Another finds, what is already real of Ripple? What is already real of XRPL being used or considered for CBDCs? First, Ripple already employs the XRP Ledger to provide secure, efficient, and scalable infrastructure for CBDCs, both wholesale, retail, and also cross-border payments. The financial institutions and industries have a great confidence towards Ripple. And the platform itself, Ripple already offers a dedicated platform for central banks to create, issue, and manage their own CBDCs for wholesale and retail. So they have already had some contact with these institutions and also allowing the development for the expected features. And specifically about the Interledger protocol, it allows interoperability and cross-border payments, connecting other digital currencies and financial systems, and security and compliance again. There are the cryptographic algorithms and consensus mechanisms, so central banks can implement necessary controls and monitoring to meet anti-money laundering and also counter-terrorist finance standards. And also, our things that are already real about XRP, if you have to put in a briefly, I've chosen 7 main points that we can highlight here. First, the Interledger protocol, it allows interoperability. Second, the gateway model, it enables us to have connectivity. Third, decentralized exchange DEX allows us to have decentralized trades. The federated side chains enables us to have scalability and customization. The cross-chain bridge allows us to have assets trade and interoperability. And sixth, the comprehensive API suite. CBDCs integration and programmable money are allowed due to this feature. And seventh, and finally, there have been already many strategic partnerships and pilots that Ripple has been involved with, and it allows like many use cases and the industry standards like to be considered and also use the XRP Ledger protocol. So I have presented to you many features about the XRP Ledger, about Ripple, about CBDCs, and we have this opportunity, we have this context, we have the advent of tokenized markets, Web3, many things going on, and also the traditional financial systems wanting to join this game. So if you have to think from now on, mainly considerations and next steps, what should we do right now? We can say, firstly, our main question, is XRP Ledger able to be used as a hub to promote CBDC's interoperability? Yes, it is. So it is indeed a promising tool for CBDC interoperability, and there are some features for improvement, as every technology, as every ledger, has the same needs for improvement, right? So first, hooks being able to work fully as smart contracts functions, not that this point is specifically a fault, but we can turn it into more competitive, like when thinking the market overall, we can work into a more competitive solution. Second, about security and compliance mechanisms to be aligned with central banks and users. This is a constant point for every protocol, for every institutional environment, and also because central banks are still building, still reinforcing, let's say, or improving its own compliance guidance for CBDCs and DLT usage. Third, we should have a higher volumetry in transactions per second, because maybe today it's good already, the one we have. However, central banks may expect in the future a higher volumetry. And fourth, the integration with more complex assets. It's something that's important to point out that XRPL already does really well, already connects with complex assets, but in the future we have to improve that's also, to think that's also possible to improve once assets are also able to become more complex. We've seen in the many years, in a short time frame, the assets have become many, very, very complex. And to put in a briefly, this is all that I have today. And I think we still have like some time. I will open for questions. If you have like any questions, I can try to answer. And firstly, I would ask just to raise your hand, then someone will give you the microphone. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here.
Hi, my name is Timo. I just have a short question. So you're talking about the XRP Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
Is the coin XRP is going to be used there as well, or is it not needed there? I'm not that deep into the technology, but I just want to understand it.
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Say it again.
The XRP coin,
mm-hmm.
Does it have to be used when you talk about the CBDC and things like that, or is it something else that is being used?
I understand. You mean that, for example, if to make the interoperability for CBDCs, we have to use the XRP? Honestly, I'm not sure, to be honest to you. Because I guess, for example, what I mean when what I focus in this case study is to use the architecture of XRP Ledger and the features to make the interoperability. But I'm not sure because, for example, if a central bank, suppose it's using its own CBDC fiat currency, it doesn't have any relationship with XRP Ledger, you know, because it's an unregulated fiat currency. So initially, I would say no, but it depends on the connection.